I hadn't had any experience of what like full-time football looked like.
They just think it's such a physical demand and then don't really think of the, like, you know, the mental side of it.
And it just took a toll like on my body so much.
Because like life is going on and there's, you know, there's other things outside of the game.
How am I going to deal with this, being away from family and friends, like you say, that usually help in those situations?
I'm Louise Quinn.
And I'm Bex Holloway.
And we are here in the park chatting everything football, life, hopefully about Ralph.
Yeah, a lot about Ralph.
And just how things are going. So, Bex, 100 appearances for the Blues. How does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I'm so glad I've been able to do it with Birmingham. I think it was actually quite a reminder that, you know, I'm that senior experienced player now within the team. And because I think with football, well, the nice thing is you kind of actually forget your age sometimes.
Yeah, you stay forever young, really, don't you?
You keep young. So in a way, it was kind of that like reminder that I am now this senior experienced player in the team. But no, obviously I'm so glad I was able to achieve getting 100 appearances with the Blues. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's like that comes, you think potentially with age, but for me, I think especially the last few years, you're like the first name on the team sheet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that experience, and you obviously play with Northern Ireland internationals. I think you have about, well, at least 35 caps there, a couple of goals. So, you know, all of that comes together, and Blues, just constantly needs that, you know, those senior players' experience. But can you think back to, you know, potentially how you've developed as a player or come on since kind of, you know, that first appearance for Blues to where you are now?
Yeah, when I think back to when I first signed, obviously I just moved from college in the States and I hadn't had any experience of what like full-time football looked like. That it was just one of these things where I was like, wow, I actually get paid to play football now. I think when I got my first paycheck with Blues, I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, you actually get paid for this. Yeah, I was like, this is so weird. But no, but like obviously that transition, Blues did make it easy. And I think it was one of those where you just kind of get thrown straight into it. It was like almost straight into being a centre half. And that's obviously where my kind of experience with that started. And I think I played majority of my first season as a centre back. And it was only in like my second season where I started then to play more as like a fullback. Which obviously suits me so much more because you know me, I love to run. When I was at Bristol, I was a fullback, so obviously I did have experience there. I had absolutely no experience at centre mid. It was only when I moved to the States that I guess the coach saw me playing there, and actually I got like so many goals there. So it was quite hard then, obviously coming back and maybe transitioning back to that fullback role. And I think that's one of the biggest things though, from when we were in the WSL to now the Championship. You think how much we had to defend. Every single week. It was like body on the line. We're not getting relegated. It was difficult.
But it was a great learning experience, wasn't it? Like,
whereas
I've
now
never defended so much in my life.
I know. Whereas now it's like that other part where we are now a team with so much of the ball. And you kind of aren't doing as much defending as you probably used to do. So, I mean, obviously I'm not going to complain. I love getting forward and stuff.
Exactly. But it's great to have the ball.
When you see how Blues has changed so much in that sense, from going so defensively to now being so attacking.
As you said, you just have over 100 appearances, but are there any standout moments? I think I might know what it is.
I think
I've been there.
I think everyone can guess what it is. Obviously when we beat Arsenal at home, like bare bones. I mean, everyone had like the game of their life that day.
It was, and obviously it's just massive. You know, Arsenal were and are that good at that stage, and we were battling, and it was literally the game after like Christmas and New Year's, wasn't it? It was after the break.
Which is usually actually such a tough period to come back into. So we did so well. And I think we were all making the jokes of, we're going Champions League, like, we can compete with them. And I think, it was amazing.
Yeah, I just think it was like one of those, everything perform, or like, you know, that kind of did define us, what we knew we had, and like, you know, tried to bring against other teams, and sometimes it didn't work, but it did just click. And, you know, I think, I would have known a few of those girls at the time, and like when it actually came to the end of the season, then I think Chelsea won the league by 1 point, and you know, they're kind of cursing that game against us, but you know, that is the way it goes, and we just, you know, absolutely delivered. And I think we did pick up some momentum after that.
You guys did, because obviously even when that period where I left, obviously kept up with the games and was still around, and even when you played Chelsea at home, like I think that was 1-0, wasn't it? Like you guys were still competing. And that result against Brighton, the way you guys played, you know, it was so close that season. It was obviously just such a shame that it ended that way, because when you actually look at some of the performances and the results, we did so well. But
and like, as you said, you spent some time away in America. I feel like that was, you know, something you absolutely wanted to do. And like, how did you find it? And again, how did you think it, you know, again, maybe helped you as a player, or just gave you a different aspect on what you thought life like of a footballer was?
No, I mean, it definitely was kind of at the time my dream move, and something that I did want to achieve in my career. And I think that stemmed from my time in America at university, because for me that was the next step. I didn't know what there was actually in England football wise. So coming back here, I still had that dream of, I still want to go play in the States, and that league was growing as well so much at the time. So when that opportunity came up, I was like, I have to take it. I've wanted this for so long. But obviously, during my time there, I obviously didn't get to play as much as I wanted to. And I do think that came down to a lot of factors. In the beginning, just with like the travel being so demanding.
You know, especially flights with, pretty much.
Especially with like international football as well. And it just took a toll like on my body so much, and I think mentally as well it was testing. And in my head I knew that it wasn't really then benefiting my football as much, and maybe that's why I just wasn't performing at the level I know I can. But I did learn so much. Like, it was such a different style of football, you know, the intensity that they played at.
Like just physical fitness constantly, isn't it?
Like I remember against Washington, and I remember thinking, gosh, like how on earth are these girls running like this? It was just insane. But obviously, like I did learn so much, and I did enjoy my time there, but I am obviously happy to be back home.
And I think people don't always understand, you know, they just think it's such a physical demand, and then don't really think of the, like, you know, the mental side of it. And I think we'd be such big advocates in terms of, like, you know, looking after yourself on and off the pitch, if that's kind of through like sports psychologists, or just having, you know, time to yourself, or is it time with your family, friends, dog, like, you know, what do you do in those scenarios to kind of look after yourself in that aspect?
I think at the time, if we're going back to obviously thinking of like in America and trying to figure it out, I think that's what I was trying to do, was figure it out. How am I going to deal with this, being away from family and friends, like you say, that usually help in those situations? And it was trial and error with everything. It was walks for coffee, where I would listen to podcasts. Highly recommend Joanne McNally, My Therapist Ghosted Me, very good podcast. And then like colouring in, like anything that was almost keeping my mind busy and distracted from maybe how I was feeling.
Family and you know.
And obviously, that was difficult, and with the time difference as well. So I was just trying to find other ways on how to switch off and not always think about football. And to be honest, my teammates helped as well. They were great girls. And it was only probably when I came back from the States that I started to like really deal with it and find ways to cope better. But I mean, you know how it is. Like it is difficult trying to switch off from football. It is like that constant in your life.
It's like you constantly, I've moved from Sweden to Italy, and such physically I think I always actually felt great, and that was you know, and sometimes it was just that I don't know, like mental exhaustion. You still feel okay, but then it can sometimes just drain. Or if you're not around sometimes your friends and family of like, at home from when you were kids, sometimes it can take that toll, because as I say, teammates are amazing.
Yeah, and dogs as well.
And dogs are amazing. And it is, and it's so helpful, but sometimes you just need to like, touch base with home, and things just change. Obviously now, I've created a family here, and it's something that, football then has also brought me. So it's, but it's always just so important, I think, to, as well as physically, like, the brain is...
it's very important.
It's just as important.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Where do you want to go from here? Where do you want to, adapt your game? Or, do you pick up little nuggets from people, or obviously an international team? And, I think it's one thing, you haven't yet scored a goal for the club, but I think in terms of your, involvement in terms of assists, or you're the pre-assist to the assist, the assist, which even happened the other, the other day. But where else do you want to go with your game and take it?
I think it's like, it's difficult as you, I guess, get into this next part of your career. Like I said before, being that kind of senior experienced player now, I'm just trying to not put as much pressure on myself. And I think that also links into the mental side of things as well. Because I think the minute you start to do that, that's just maybe when, you're trying too hard, you're losing your confidence a little bit. And I just think now I'm in a place where I don't want to put that pressure on myself. And I made that comment, about like, I haven't scored yet, and it must be like the worst stat in women's football, like 100 appearances with no goals. But obviously I do want that so bad, but I'm not going to put pressure on it.
No.
And then hopefully by doing that, I just play freely. That's all I want to do. It's almost like you're just in a flow state. Yeah. And then hopefully from there, like, things come naturally in my career. So I think I'm just very much like, where football's going to take me now, I'm just going to kind of ride that wave in a way. I'm not going to put pressure on things. And that's just how I've been thinking. So
and I think that does, I think it does tend to naturally happen. It's like the older you get, you've so many years left to play, but it's probably even just is, again, not down to age, but like experience in terms of how much you've played. But that just seems to, sometimes it just happens where you almost go back to when you're a kid and you're just like, this is just football. Because life is going on, and there's there's other things outside of the game that are so important, but it kind of just reels you back into like, this is a game of football. I love this. Yes, there is, potentially a title at stake, and you don't want to let teammates down or people down, but that at the end of the day, that never really happens, because as long as you just try your hardest, that's like literally that is it. It's layman's terms, try your best, and that's all you can do, and football will reward you for that. And
no, I agree. It does. I mean, I think even, I know it sounds silly because you're the one with the baby, but getting a dog, like, it just puts things into perspective, that there's just other things in life other than...
comparing my baby to your
not at
dog?
all. It's just like, there is other things than football, like, other than, what goes on at training and stuff. The minute you get home, it's like you forget everything that's happened, and it does help in so many ways. Like, I'm sure when you look at Dara, you're just like, that nothing else exists apart from this baby, you know. And so I do just think there's bigger things than football sometimes, and I think this season I've definitely put that into perspective more. And obviously, of course, I want to get promoted and actually win some silverware with this club. I'd love to do that. But these things will happen as the performances happen, and that's just what we have to keep doing. So
well, I think you've had an incredible 100 appearances. I've definitely been there for a good chunk of them. I never quite reached the 100, but you still have so many more left to give. You're my first name on the team sheet, so but just keep going and doing what you're doing, because that's, you've grown so much as a player, and you should be very proud, and the club are lucky to have you. So hopefully here's to another 100.
Oh, thanks, Lou. You made me cry. It's so cute. Oh, it's so sweet.